Cleveland rocks. Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Won't you sing with me? Cleveland is the city. Oh. Here we go. Cleveland is the city. Here we go.
It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast. Welcome back to the Cleveland Sports Hour. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the Cavs, the Tribe, and we don't try to think about the Browns very much. But if you like the informed, intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective on all things, you have come to the right place. In New York, this is world champion Pat McMenamin. From San Francisco, I am joined by fellow world champion Matt Youngner. Say hello, champion.
Hey, champ. How you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too bad. Now, I mean,
better than I thought I'd be doing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I gotta say,
somehow
better than I thought I'd be doing. But so hold on, I'm trying to get back to where we are in the podcasting. So last time we podded, we promised that we would come back in the unlikely event that the Cavs were somehow facing elimination in round one versus the Pacers. So Jesus, we're facing elimination right now, and we're still in round one. This is kind of late in round one, Matty.
Yeah, we sort of blew that one, didn't we?
Oh, wait. So you're saying we didn't blow? Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know what happened, Matty. We kind of just
we got weird schedules. You were traveling, I was traveling. You got this work thing that's jamming everybody up.
Yeah, 5:30 in the morning is rough for East Coast, West Coast times to pod. Well, if that ever changes, maybe that'll help our podcasting schedule. But yeah, it's tough because I gotta say we missed potting through, like, I gotta say, like, from a beginning to end standpoint, from a round by round thing, like that was the greatest like Cavs playoff run I've ever seen in terms of like super exciting games. Like I was a wreck most nights. You know, I mean, it made my job performance suffer because how late I was up every night, and I need like an hour after every single game for a whole like 2 months. I need an hour after every single game just to decompress so I can go to sleep.
It was the topsiest turviest of any of their runs, right?
Right, for sure.
I mean, I think the first one would come closest, but even then, after the injuries in the Chicago series, we sort of sailed and things got wild in the finals. Mm-hmm. But now that's hampered by the fact that with this, even with the injuries in 15, this felt like the lowest. Like I had never had any illusion that we were going to win the finals.
No shit. I mean, this is very much like the 2007 run, where you had some like career legendary defining moments, exciting series, exhilarating moments. But then, of course, you kind of knew it was, you know,
yes,
there was a bloodbath waiting in the finals,
and that was us arriving ahead of our time, and LeBron pulling a team that wasn't ready for the finals yet into the finals. Mm-hmm. And this is the other end of the life cycle.
Yeah, this is LeBron dragging the shrapnel and shreds of what was left of Dan Gilbert's I don't know,
the carcass of a franchise.
Yeah,
right now is what it feels like.
Dan Gilbert. I lay all this at the feet of Dan Gilbert. We can get into that a little more later. All right, so quick rundown on the podcast today. It's all Cavs today. The Tribe and the Browns can always wait.
I don't know, Patty. I'm starting to get excited. Let's not talk about that.
All right, well, we'll leave that for another day. But the Tribe will wait for another day as well. We're going to spend the first half of this, though, looking back at that incredible playoff run. I think the world is ready, seems poised to already forget how incredible that run was. Think about it, Matty. 8 40-point games. That has only been done one other time in history, and I think it was by Jerry West.
And Patty, when you say how incredible that run was, you really just mean how incredible that LeBron run was.
This is all basically about LeBron. Yeah.
As a team,
I mean, I want to give some love to Kevin Love and a lot of other players who came through. Other guys kind of came and went. You know, they had their moments, but they weren't consistent when we needed them. You know, that was the story of the Cavs. But LeBron was the one constant. And, I mean, incredible constant. Can't believe it every single night. His down nights were 27 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, those were his worst nights. That's incredible.
Absolutely amazing.
3 games of the broken hand. Jesus. So we're going to talk about that stuff first and go through that series since we totally missed the entire playoffs in the podcast. Then we'll talk a bit about the finals and that corny team of front runners. And then we'll finally get into the business of what's next for LeBron and what it means to the Cavs. So, Matty, let's start off with the Pacers series. round one.
Oh boy, jeez, that was a tough one.
That was a tough one, unexpectedly so. Again, for the math alone, I just thought the math meant that it would be tough fought, probably tight, but our 3-point shooting would make it impossible for them to win. But they kept hitting 3-point shots, and we kept missing. But let's start with the kill list. Who was your kill list from that team?
I got to cast my mind back a little bit and put my heart back into that state. And that was a great kill list series because it was tough, close, hard-fought game. There was 2 great kill list series and two ones that were a little difficult for the kill list, I think.
Dude, I don't know. Most of those guys I like.
Well, we said that going into the series. We did the preview of the kill list. It was like, well, Lance, of course, but then who are we really going to hate? But Pat, like life in Jurassic Park, here in the Matty and Patty podcast, hate always finds a way.
Hate finds a way.
And I believe Bojan Bogdanovic really emerged as somebody in that series.
I mean, here's some of the qualities. Obviously, it has to play well and hurt you. For example, I couldn't really hate at the end of the day Lance because Lance I
wanted him out there.
Oh, yeah. Huge plus for us. Every time he was out there, he got us back in the game. Yeah. he would oblige us with terrible shots, terrible turnovers, and blow it on the other end. He certainly had his moments for sure. But
he's hateable. But I agree with you. It has to be somebody who also is doing damage out there for me.
Bojan was the best 3-point shooter. He played pretty good defense. It was on LeBron too. It was crazy.
Very odd. I did not see that coming.
Here's the other key factor. He's got that white guy, fake tough guy thing. That is guaranteed to boil me.
God.
Josh,
oh boy, does that make me mad.
Here was the other totally unexpected factor. He is a dead ringer for Billy Eichner. You know Billy Eichner?
Yeah, of course I do.
Breaking me, I love Billy Eichner, but Billy Eichner's whole shtick is to be an obnoxious, be
annoying. He's got a little bit of the
frowning, sneering, arrogant douchebag kind of thing. So just
remember that old John Lovitz character, Annoying Man?
Yes, exactly. So
there's a little bit of that there.
Picture Billy Eichner as a very good NBA player, and holy shit, you want to murder that person.
Yeah. Bearing critical threes against your team.
And mean mugging with that fucking Billy Eichner face. God.
Oh my God.
I hate his face.
He really emerged. I'm actually looking at the rest of the roster. Right, Oladipo made me mad and starts in fits because he's got some shtick in him.
Yeah,
I remember when he was a rookie, he played in the rookie game and came out and sang "New York, New York" because I think the All-Star game was in New York that year, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So he's got a little bit of that. It's like high school theater star in him that is annoying to everybody. Pat. Present company included.
I was the exception.
Yeah.
Life school theater star in high school.
You walked amongst them, but you weren't really one of them, Patty. We all know that.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
So there's a little bit of that, but I didn't want to murder him in particular. I really feel like it was Bojan and Lance, and then I don't know. Was there anybody else for you that really felt?
Bojan was the only guy I wanted to kill.
Miles Turner, no. Thad Young was just murdering Kevin Love in that series, but I didn't really get mad at him.
No, exactly.
Trevor Booker a little bit, maybe.
I totally forgot who Trevor Booker is.
He's a backup big that did a little damage and he just preened a little bit in a way that made me mad.
I sort of vaguely remember that.
Sabonis, no.
Nope, he was good.
Yeah, it was really.
But holy shit, that series. Again, LeBron had the most ridiculous game winner I've ever seen. It was the mirror of Jordan's shot in Game 5, the shot that I was there for in 1989 and cried all the way home from the Richfield Coliseum.
Patty, I was there too. Don't cut me out of this history.
That's right. That was like our little universe connection. Both being there, both crying all the way home. But then it was the exact same angle. Inbounding, except that LeBron added the level of difficulty of making an unnecessary 3-pointer there.
Yeah, totally unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary. We were only down 1. But it was we were tied actually, right? We were tied.
Yeah.
But still, that was amazing. Becca was up for that. I remember just screaming at the top of my lungs and tackling her. We never got that moment in the previous 4 years until except the one that we saw in Game 7, 2016. Right?
No, that's not true.
Do we have game winners?
Yes, he hit the against Chicago in the first run.
Oh, of course. What am I talking about? Of course we had that. That was another me run streaking the top of my lungs. Yeah. God, that was amazing. And that wasn't it. It was just one. It was just one moment. Oh, thank God we didn't lose that series, Matty. Jesus, that would have been.
Oh God, it really could have.
But again, when you're feeling down about how this went out in the NBA Finals, just remember, we really could have gone out in the first round.
Very easily.
Very easily. We got outscored in that series by 40 points.
I was, blown out of every loss and narrow wins in every win, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can attest to this, Petty. How down was I coming out of that?
Oh, you were done. You felt a little bit better about the Raptors. One, you were like, because you recognize we matched up better against the Raptors.
Yes, I know that we own the Raptors, but still.
The furthest you would go with the Raptors is there was some reason for hope with the Raptors specifically. That was as far
and only based on our previous ownership of them.
Yes. That was as far as you would go. You were depressed, and you were almost convinced that we were not getting out because you didn't think we could beat either the Sixers or the Celtics. You didn't think we had a chance.
No. Especially the Sixers. I was like, the Sixers are going to mop the floor with us.
It's true. Back then, we still weren't sold on the Celtics yet. The Celtics.
Yeah. Well, the Celtics, remember, struggled through a 7-game first round 2 against a pretty mediocre Milwaukee team.
Absolutely. And so, no, but they impressed the hell out of you as they dismantled the Sixers. You quickly swung in the opposite direction.
Yes.
But, yeah, so.
I was so dark coming out of that series.
So let's move on to the Raptors then. What's our kill list for the Raptors series? Do you have one?
See, this is where I talked about it's tough. It's tough in series that don't get particularly close to really start to hate somebody.
Yep.
And I mean,
Jonas early on, especially in game 1, as he was destroying us.
Yes, although
again, big tough guy.
As you and my brother and I think my brother first noticed the clips of him just losing his mind as LeBron was burying the turnaround jumpers.
The fadeaway.
I can't even remember what game that was. Game 3?
I'm pretty sure it was game 1, wasn't it?
I don't think it was that early.
Wasn't that early? Okay. Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was game 3 in Cleveland.
So that, like, I don't know. He just felt pathetic to me by the time.
It also, we forget about this. Ty Lue had a very strange playoffs. He was
very
round 1, absolutely terrible in round 1, horrible rotation, playing the wrong matchups, not taking. He wasn't adjusting at all. It was really weird. He wasn't trapping Oladipo religiously once it became very apparent. And at first I would agree. I didn't want him to be overly trapped, but evidence showed that Oladipo doesn't know how to pass out a trap. The best he can do is just give the ball up, which is a win. Get the ball out of their best offensive playmaker's hand. He just wouldn't do that. But then in the Raptors series, he really redeemed himself because he was committed to Love at the center because of Jonas Valanciunas. Everyone ripped him in game 1, even though we won that game, saying he's got to go away from it, and he stuck to it. Boy, was he right. JV being like that, he was unplayable. He was unplayable by the end because Kevin Love was smoking him. And so again, that kills the kill list thing. Is that, like, honestly, I wanted him out there. I wanted him.
Yep. Did you do you think this verges from kill list a little bit, but we can be all over it. Do you think that series changes at all if we lose that first game, which we obviously could have very easily?
No, I mean, yeah, certainly. I mean, just like with the NBA Finals, like that's a win. So it does change the complexion a little bit.
A little, but I mean, I'm convinced in the finals we would. I think even if we win that first game, we're going to lose.
Of course,
that series, and probably badly. I sort of feel the same way about the Raptors.
That's what I'm saying. I feel the exact same way about the Raptors. I think we win that series in 5 if we, because we would have. That would have been a win if we lost that game. One, we were already giving up like the blowout. We're like, hey, the first game's gonna be a blowout. It's like
right coming off a tough series,
one day
rested,
7-game series. LeBron like going crazy. Of course, we're gonna lose this game. The fact that we came back was already a win. I remember thinking that, like, even if we weren't gonna win that game, it would have been fine. Remember, LeBron hit the game-tying shot in regulation with like 4 seconds left. Like, we were down 2. He hit a tough fadeaway jumper to tie the game, send it into overtime. LeBron has not just 2 game winners, buzzer beating game winners. He also has a game tying shot in this playoff.
That's right.
Woo. But yeah, no, they would have gone to win.
Anybody else you hate? DeRozan is a no for me. He was we broke him.
Yeah,
Lowry, I can gin up some hate for sometimes, but I really couldn't in that series.
Yeah, he was blowing it left and right.
Ibaka is somebody I can hate. Nope.
Yeah.
They're young guys. I honestly don't feel like I know it.
OG Anunoby. I mean,
yeah, Anunoby, even like Siakam and however you say the center Patel, whatever that dude's name is.
Pat corrected the pronunciations, by the way.
I know. What a day. Van Vliet, all of this. I can't really hate those guys yet. None of them are quite good enough. It was, and again, in a sweep, it's hard to gin up hate.
Yeah, this is true.
And also, we fucking murdered that franchise in that series.
Oh my god, it was
so. Whatever. That was a wake.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I just kept thinking of the stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that game 4 blowout was so uncomfortable. I mean, and honestly, I had shades of how the game 4 of the NBA Finals were for us. Like, it was clear that they were just done. And
yes. The difference being, I think we really murdered that Raptors franchise. I don't feel like the Warriors murdered us. I think we killed ourselves. We'll get to that, but
yeah, we'll get into that. Another thing to note, I mentioned the game tying shot in regulation. There was that ridiculous off glass runner.
Oh my god,
game winner!
That's one of my favorites.
So beautiful. That touch was ridiculous.
Patty, it was so satisfying. I was watching that game at a bar in Sonoma, which is not the city proper, but still there's some old school Warriors fans out there. The Warriors were not playing that day, so they were like not out in mass. And the bar got so mad when he hit that shot. People were throwing middle fingers up. I was just in heaven.
Were you just taking a sniff of your Cabernet, big glass?
Oh yes. Just swirling it in my hand. Actually, what I did, we left just after that shot went in, and I'd been sitting there, and I'd taken my hat off just because it was hot inside. And right after the shot went in, everybody got real mad. I very slowly and showily pulled my Cavs hat out of my bag and plunked it on my head and sauntered up to the bar and closed out my tab. Big smile on my face.
That's Matt Younger's music.
Yeah. It was
very good. You're taking a page of WWE. That's a very good heel move.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, beautiful. There's not much. Is there anything better than just trolling fragile Golden State fans?
No, that's my life now.
Oh my God, they're so emotionally fragile. That's beautiful. One other shout out for the series that needs to be addressed is the foreshadowing, honestly, in a way, of Perk totally bodying Drake during that series.
Oh yeah,
Matty, how do you feel about Perkins now?
It's weird.
He was top of your kill list for years upon years upon years.
Oh, years. I was so mad when he joined the team.
It's still twice he joined the team.
It's better. I don't think I want to murder him, but like, did you see? You know that weird thing he had in the finals with Durant, where you like flicked him off, gave him the double bird.
Yeah, what was that? I don't know what happened with that.
I read an article about it, and the article made me upset, honestly, because it was mostly him being like, "Yeah, KD's one of my best boys in the world. I talk to him every day, but he's my enemy in this series." So, I really meant that. I was pissed off at him, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this shit? This is so incestuous and weird." And I don't know what he means. It made him feel like more of a fake tough guy. I mean, he's a mercenary, like clearly he's a goon for hire. And I appreciate some of the gooning he does for us, but it's not like his heart's in it.
I don't know. I think so. You should read this article. There's an NBA like oral history on Perkins being a great teammate and why everyone seems to love him. It was a good read, actually. It's worth reading. I mean, you can skip through a lot of the Celtic stuff because it just makes you want to throw up. But no, like he is like. I think he's tight with everybody basically that he's played with. But like again. He didn't.
I mean, that was the whole source of the Drake fight, right? Was him yelling at Ibaka, who they were teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
In Oklahoma,
and like they were having fun, like friends would in terms of like friendly trash talk or whatever. And then Drake tried to insert himself in it, and he got his ass handed to him.
Yeah. Oh, fuck Drake. I feel like he got taken down in that series too, right?
What's that?
He sort of got taken down in the series in the same way the Raptors did.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and I'm saying like 1 month later, he gets his ass handed to him by Pusha T.
Yeah.
Overboard in their rap battle. I mean, that's how you know you want to rap battles when the other guy responds not with a rap battle, but with an iPhone text statement.
Yeah, that's true. You've changed mediums at that point.
Then you're waving the red-white flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Perk, like he bodied Drake, called him out, and then on top of that, when like Curry got pissed at Perkins for not getting up out of his seat to move out of the way when Curry was.
I still don't understand that one.
Unbelievable! Get the fuck out of here, you punk ass Mark. Get the fuck out of here.
That's weird, wasn't it?
Perkins stand down. He's like, "Yeah, what do you want? Fuck out of here. Go to your own bench."
Yeah, I really did not understand that.
That was great. But anyway, so again, so many good things in that series. That was super fun. Let's move on to the Celtics. Matty, this kill list is bound to be very long.
Oh, my God.
Number one, I think we can all agree on.
With a bullet. With a bullet. Jesus Christ.
Marcus Morris.
Yes. It's not even close. I was so upset with him at one point in that series that I actually texted Zarin and was like, real nice guy you employed there.
Yeah. Seriously.
Real nice guy you employed there. I think it was the second time he screamed at
space. It didn't get a single foul.
Yeah.
Never a technical for it. He got one eventually. They missed it. He got one eventually when Tristan Thompson got up and
pushed him.
Yeah, which God bless you, Tristan Thompson. I mean, Tristan Thompson. I'm sorry, he deserves a slow clap for a lot of his antics.
Yeah.
With Draymond, with Marcus Morris, with these fake fucking tough guys who are getting away with murder in terms of stuff that should be called a technical foul in any other setting, but refs were letting it run for some bizarre reason. Yeah, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Big tough guy. Dude who is the less talented of a twin. And was something that I wanted to keep taking shots, even though he made way more than he should have been expected to.
Than he should have, I agree.
Who basically did a decent job on LeBron because he fouled the shit out of him. But you look at the numbers at the end of the day, like LeBron actually did better than all of his averages on every possession that Marcus Morris started him. So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, LeBron was filthy.
I'm the best LeBron defender outside Kawhi.
What a dickhead.
LeBron better than his average. His average is already greatest of all time. Get the Mark ass bitch. Oh, hate him. All right,
easily number one.
Number one with a bullet. Who else, Matty, makes our list?
Oh, I think Marcus Smart's a safe number two, isn't he, Patty?
My new favorite thing is just to tweet out randomly throughout the game. Oh, look, Marcus Morris on the floor.
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Morris fell down again. What?
Marcus Smart.
Isn't that remarkable?
You said Marcus Morris both those times, Patty. It's Marcus Smart.
Damn it, they're all the fucking same to me.
Well,
they're both named Marcus, and they're both.
That's true.
Bitches, Marcus.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
All right,
Smart's number two easily. It's funny though, is your point, because I think those are the two guys that Celtics fans are most mad at.
Yeah, well, they should be. They have two assholes in their team.
Yeah, those two guys stood out as a clear 1 and 2 for me.
You hate Tatum?
I don't hate Tatum yet.
I don't hate Tatum. I kind of like him.
He's done nothing obnoxious to me yet. He carries himself fine. What did he do?
He bumped him.
I felt like he wanted calls a little bit too much for a rookie, but he was also their best player. So
he bumped LeBron a couple times. So I'm like, what? He earned it. I don't know. He's.
Yeah, I agree.
He was like Bazemore. Remember you hated Bazemore for trying to I don't know, be brave against LeBron, and I was like, you know what? Like, I like the chutzpah. He's trying to make something happen.
I appreciate it if you're a good player. Tatum's good enough where it doesn't make me mad. Bazemore is not.
Right, Bazemore's not.
It's like that same dude, Stanley Johnson, on the Pistons. Buddy, come on. Fuck out of here. LeBron.
Stanley Johnson also shat the bed in that series on top.
Yeah. I know.
He had moments, and so I was like, all right, Bazemore, you're having your moment. All right, front a little bit. All right. I don't know. I didn't mind Bazemore as much, but I know we disagree on that. But yes,
I don't hate Tatum. I don't hate Brown.
No.
Al Horford, I can gin up some hate for.
Yeah, a little bit, but again,
I can't. I'm still mad at him for that Dellavedova shit.
Oh yeah, it is.
I'll never really forgive him for that. I like that we owned him for a fourth consecutive year.
Of JR hate in the series. Remember, I think game 1, or it was game 3 when he had that little push in the back, which was really bad.
When JR pushed him,
or for JR pushed him in the air, it was bad. Like in JR,
yes. I think that was game 5.
Yeah,
we lost.
Yeah, exactly. And she came out. I forget what she said, but it was really aggressive, and she immediately responded afterwards, like basically laughing at herself and being like, "I'm sorry, I got a little carried away."
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
So I could gin up a little hate for Al. I always have a little lurking there. Aaron Baines, Patty.
Oh my God, yes. God, he could never hit more than 18 threes in his career. And then the last 2 series, he's like a 50% 3-point shooter.
Well, if you were a Sixers fan, you'd have to go bonk. He wasn't that good against us. Against the Sixers, he
made at least threes against us in ways that was like they were crushing when he made them. But he missed I feel like he went 2 for 3. He only took 3 threes, I think, in the whole series. But he went 2 for 3 against us.
I don't like that fashy haircut that he's rocking.
Nope, do not like the fashy haircut.
That replaced what's his face that was on their team last year.
Is there some requirements that they have?
Isn't that weird?
Just that fascist white supremacist demographic that obviously is a base of Celtics fandom. I don't understand.
It's odd, isn't it?
Very, very odd and strange. Very strange.
What was that dude's name that was on their team last year? He ended up on, I can't remember where he was this year. I think he was in Utah this year, actually.
Yeah, which, of course, that's where you go.
I'm totally blanking. I got to remember this dude's name. Terry Rozier did not rise to hate level. I mean, he's,
man, you can't hate.
Jonas Jerebko.
Jerebko, nice, very good recall. No, you can't hate on a shaker boy.
No,
the dude that the best thing is everyone. Do you remember if you weren't following on Twitter, but people kept coming up with and resurfacing a tweet Terry Rozier sent out, just like calling LeBron out as a bitch and blah blah, just like really harsh stuff. You look at when he sent that. 2011.
Yeah.
Cleveland boy right there who was doing exactly what we were doing about LeBron back then. That's what it was. That's what I love about that. No one brings up the context, but that's a fucking Cleveland boy. He hated LeBron because he was a Cleveland Cavs fan. So that's come home, Terry. Come home to Cleveland. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I want to.
Yeah, could happen.
Could happen. Very well could happen.
But I don't think that's it. They were playing 7 guys in that series.
Yeah, I didn't hate Brown. Trying to think who else. I mean, yeah.
No, that's it. It was Baines, Brown, Horford.
Really, it's
Monroe played a little, but so little that I don't care. Morris
out there. It was
Ogilvy. Ogilvy didn't play enough to hate. That's it. That was it. That's all they had.
Ogilvy broke Ty Lue's brain.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Easy.
Talk about low moments.
What? I mean, actually, Ty Lue was all over the place. But in the end of the day, Matty, it wasn't just LeBron. Ty Lue pulled his shit together and put together a good game plan. Game 6 and 7. It wasn't just LeBron going crazy. It was LeBron going crazy for the most part. But Ty Lue came correct and outsmarted the boy genius. I thought that was great. But think about it. LeBron had 3 40-point games in that series. That series alone, he had 3 40-point games.
Yes, he did.
Led the back-to-back elimination W's. There was the block on Terry Rozier and that stare down.
I missed that one because that's Game 7, right?
Oh my God, yeah, Game 7. You were.
I was in Amsterdam.
You understand that you actually are the reason the Cavs didn't win a championship this year. You traveled abroad during the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's on you.
They won. They won while I was abroad, Patty.
It's true. Well, they had a bad moment in Game 1, right?
Right? That's true. I guess I'm responsible for that. But technically, once I was outside of the airspace of this country, the Cavs were 2-1.
It's true. But yeah, he blocked the shit out. First of all, mad props to Terry Rozier for seeing LeBron seeing LeBron saying, "You know what? I'm going to dunk on this."
Yeah.
I'm going to dunk. on the greatest of all time. And LeBron going at me in the rim, blocking the shot of him. And because he's been playing the entire fucking game, just stood and stared down. The entire team stood there, full court stare down. I've never fucking seen that. Full court stare down.
I also think that was one of those moments. I'm sure you read the Windhorst LeBron getting rest while on the court article.
Oh, yeah.
And that seemed a clear example of that, too.
Uh-huh. He was like, I blocked that shot. We'll see if we can score here. But otherwise, we'll take another stop in a minute and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But in the end, Matty, we had back-to-back elimination wins. It was incredible because when we lost Game 5, I felt pretty sure that we were done, that we weren't going to go to the finals.
I didn't feel like we could win in Boston under almost any circumstances. That LeBron was getting worn out, couldn't keep playing all these minutes.
I was again. Remember this, Cavs fans. Remember this when you're down about the finals. How much worse would this have been for the Boston Celtics to end 2 LeBron eras in Cleveland?
Yeah,
that was what we were staring at. That's what I thought for sure was going to happen. It was going to happen with a bunch of rookies and not even their 2 best players.
Yeah. Oh, that would have sucked.
It would have been the arrival of I can't remember the Brad. I can't remember the coach's name. Whatever. He's forgettable.
What are you talking about?
I can't remember the Celtics coach's name.
Brad Stevens?
Stevens, thank you. Brad Stevens. It would have been his arrival, his greatest moment.
Oh, so much talk about his genius.
Genius over and over.
Stevens' genius is next to Curry humbleness on my qualities I can't stand fucking hearing about. Although Stevens is arguably a genius, Curry is not humble in the slightest.
No, he's not. He's a dick.
Saying the word God every once in a while does not make you humble. Just lesson learned, everybody.
Woo! So, at the end of the day, LeBron has been to 8 fucking straight finals. The only person who has done that are people that played on the 50s, 60s Celtics teams.
Yeah.
That again.
That series was our championship, Patty. We knew it. We said it at the moment.
That's how the Cavs felt. You could see it in their celebration.
Yeah.
That was amazing, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of that. To be 4 straight trips to the finals.
Yeah.
Cleveland, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
This is so un-Cleveland-like. I just don't even understand. It's incredible. All right. Do you want to go on to the finals, or do you want to talk about Kyrie stuff for a bit?
Let's talk about Kyrie for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
There's an article in the New York Times, right? There was an in-depth interview with him. They talked about a bunch of regular basketball stuff. And then, God bless this reporter, just got into it with Kyrie about the flat earth stuff. And literally, at several moments, was like, okay, I hear all that. I'm asking you this question. Do you believe that the earth is flat? Which Kyrie would never answer. So it is the most, I'd rather that he just believed that the earth was flat and he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He instead is doing this pseudo-intellectual thing that is like, no, it's really important for people to ask questions. And like, she brought up this thing about some, I don't know, survey or something where kids said that they thought the earth was flat and cited Kyrie Irving as the reason they believed it. And she's like, does that seem problematic to you? And he's like, no, man, I want people asking questions, don't just accept stuff and think about things, which, like in general, I don't have a problem with that as a message, but this is the wrong vehicle to approach it. And he's the wrong vessel to approach it. It is infuriating.
We've commented on it before, but the last year and a half or so, honestly, the last year has made plain to us what was right in front of our face the entire time, which is that Kyrie Irving is actually a huge
dickhead.
He's kind of an asshole.
I know what I wanted to say on this point, Patty, is that he I listen to Simmons still. I know you can't, but he talks about how people in the Celtics organization didn't realize what a quote unquote alpha dog Kyrie was, and that they reminded people a lot of Garnett, who, I will remind you, whatever we think of him post-career, was an enormous dick.
Oh, psychopath.
A psychopath. And not in an okay way. I think a lot of his qualities get forgiven because he was so good. But an asshole, and just, like, not somebody that should be allowed in society, honestly.
He
got away with a lot of it, but like he's
off the streets.
Yeah, that's not okay. If he was walking around in your community, you'd be like, we gotta do something about this guy.
This guy's a menace.
It's not okay. And certainly Kyrie doesn't have the size to be scary in the way that Garnett is, but
he's got those T-Rex arms. He's got those T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
That's what wingspan.
God, yeah. The Kyrie, not a fan. This Uncle Drew movie's not going to do anybody any favor. There's all that stuff in there about how he wants to start a TV station someday.
Jesus, man.
I don't know. It turned me off of him in a big way.
Yeah. Ugh.
But we'll always have what we had with him, Patty. But he's the former girlfriend that I'm willing to acknowledge the good times and appreciate them and bear absolutely no regrets that things didn't work out.
Absolutely. Look, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, every single member of the Cleveland Cavs 2016 squad, it's a free pass for fucking life, man.
Yeah, agreed.
So that means you, JR.
Oh, JR is next level for me.
You and I are going to be at the Jersey ceremony.
Yes.
It's going to happen, and we are going to be there. I don't care how many more crucial moments he blows with the Cavs or how bad he plays the rest of his career. And he played really bad this year.
He was in the finals, he was unbelievably bad. It doesn't matter. It
was hard to watch.
I have nothing but love for JR.
Absolutely. I'll even give, you may not really want to do this, I give like a mini extension to Kyle Korver, even though he also played horribly in the NBA.
No, he gets grandfathered in somehow.
He gets grandfathered into that 2016 NBA championship team.
I agree.
Yeah, I love him.
I agree.
I'm so glad he's part. I'm so glad she was part of it. But my only exception, Matty, we'll get into this when we get into the with or LeBron section of this podcast. I'm not sure I'm always going to extend that to Dan Gilbert.
No, yes. Well, let's get there. Let's hold that. But I agree with you.
Gilbert's the only one I'm wavering on a lifetime pass.
Agreed.
So, all right. Do we want to get into the finals that much anymore? We talked a little bit about it, but I mean that 51-point game was incredible. Do you know how many 50-point games Michael Jordan has in the finals?
I believe it's 0, Patty.
It's 0, my friend. Yes, 0. Yeah, that was incredible. That was just such an incredible performance, incredible game. I was expecting 4 straight blowouts. And what I want to say about the Cavs is even in the games, even in the fourth game, all 4 games, like even when the Warriors eventually pulled away, the Warriors were going on their preening supernova runs where they hit like a couple threes, we missed some baskets, and they scored 9 points in like 60 seconds, and going like a 9-0 run in 60 seconds. Those are the kind of things that broke the Rockets at the end of their series. And the Cavs just kept getting a stop, making a basket, get another stop, another bat. They claw back in within 6 all of a sudden. Like it just as it was about to be out of reach. We came back like 6 different times every single game.
Until the second half of Game 4.
Right, Game 4 is where it really fell apart. But like
first half, even though we did that.
First half, we were doing that again. They kept
for sure. Came back and went up.
Take their haymaker and start climbing back. And I was like, that's just fucking admirable. I was not expecting that level of confidence out of the Cavs and that level of fight. Like they kept coming back. And that Game 1 was what that was. We kept doing that, coming back until we took the lead for a moment. And then the rest fucked us. And then JR and also Hill blowing that free throw. That all happens, and then LeBron breaks his hand. It's such a bummer. But
so I still don't think we win that. Even if we win Game 1, and that means LeBron doesn't break his hand, I think maybe it goes 6. Maybe. We lose in 6, maybe. But it is telling about how much worse this Warriors team is than they were last year that would have happened with this particular Cavs team.
Yeah.
That is very telling to me. Is it okay to get into the shit on the Warriors section, Patty? Or do you
absolutely. I'm ready for it. Let's go there.
So the fucking hagiography for this fucking run of this franchise is going to drive me absolutely batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. They most certainly should not have been in the finals this year, right? They're a Chris Paul hamstring tweak away from 100% losing that series.
Yes, they are.
100% losing that series. I don't want to hear anything about that. They were done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely done.
They were done.
I'm not gonna say that the Cavs would have won the championship, as I just said. I don't think that's possible. But for this team to get a couple games off of them is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Absurd. I want to hear fucking dynasty talk with that. They're lucky. This is a little bit of bullshit thing for me to say, but they are lucky in terms of injury luck that Irving and Hayward weren't hurt, because I think that Celtics team would have fucked them up a little bit too in the finals. A fully healthy Celtics team.
Yes, they would have.
Coming on like they had. Now, there's a lot of what ifs there, and do Tatum and Brown develop in the same way if Irving and Hayward, whatever. But that's still a thing to me.
Absolutely.
So of those 4 years, that first year, 100% feels like we win that series. Maybe even just if Kyrie doesn't break his kneecap.
Yep.
Maybe we win that series, right?
Oh.
In
Kyrie,
15.
If Kyrie and Love are healthy, I think we win 2015.
It feels that way to me, man.
Oh, absolutely. We handled them in the regular season. We had a good system for beating them down, and I think we would have won that series. I mean, first of all, the fact that LeBron took that series to 6 with Matthew Dellavedova as the second best player, I think
we were running 6 guys out there.
We ran 6 guys out there. Did Sean Marion play? No, Sean Marion didn't play. But still, the point is, like,
he was on the team. He got a minute. Mike Miller, they were putting in. James Jones played real minutes in that series.
Mozgov
was down so much.
Scorer, I think, on the Cavs that final.
Mozgov was the second leading scorer in that finals.
And he's out of the NBA basically now. He got a payday from the Lakers, but I don't know where he is now.
Unreal.
Absolutely. No, I think we win 2015, and that's the whole point. The Warriors fans kept saying, laughing about the idea that Kyrie and Love would have changed the finals, and then they lost to 2016 Cavs. Go back and watch that NBA Finals series. It's not as remarkable as you think. We blew those first 2 games. That was the thing.
Yep.
Game 3 through 7, the Cavs fucking dominated them.
Yeah,
dominated them. There were 2 close games and 3 massive blowouts from the Cavs. We figured them out. They made a change in how we played. Ty Lue made an adjustment in Game 3, and the Warriors could not counter. They could not counter. They were done. And if they came back again the next year without getting Kevin Durant, we would have done it again. Because the Cavs were even better the next year. So,
well, and arguably, if they don't have Durant probably stays with Oklahoma City, and maybe Oklahoma City just takes care of them.
That's what's crazy to me, is that Oklahoma City was going to beat the Warriors. That team was actually more limited than you think.
Yeah.
One of those spokes suffers. Like, they have a hard time. They play really great defense. It keeps them in games. And so the other team might have something like that going down. But, like, boy.
I don't want to hear. I do not want to hear it from these fuckers. And even that team, the 17 team, those finals, as you and I have talked about on this podcast, Patty, a lot closer than it looks in retrospect.
Absolutely.
Right? Where Kyle Korver 3 in Game 3 from winning that game. And even Game 5 got out of control, but if you'll recall, we were up big in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant hit LeBron on the head on a drive to the basket that should have been a flagrant 1, as called on Kevin Love in the previous game on Durant, a flagrant 1. Would have sat Durant down at that point, and instead Durant stayed in, went on a nasty run, and then the rest was history. Yep. That series looks very different if a couple things go differently. Mm-hmm. I am tired of the Warriors have broken the NBA. Riffle tweeted that out the other day, and I was like, knock this shit off. I'm knocking this down any chance I get. Fuck this.
No, they haven't ruined the NBA. They got lucky. They're a well-run organization. They're a super well-run organization. Let's get that out of the way. They're really well-run. That's great. Yep. That's not original. There's a lot of really well-run organizations. This well-run organization also got the 3 things that had to happen to make this franchise happen. They had to have a star with once-in-a-generation talent in Steph Curry, have a history of ankle injuries that miraculously disappear, but after he signs a below-market contract for his deals, create the cap space necessary for a once-in-a-lifetime cap spike that allows you to get Durant, on top of blowing a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. They had to do all of those things. They had to blow a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals to get Durant, and that's what allowed them to have all this stuff.
And come back from a 3-1 deficit in the round before, too.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that.
all that had to happen for them to make this happen. So the idea that like this is like all like their master plan, like they were well-run organization, but boy, did a lot of crazy black swan type events happen to make this possible. Two, the Warriors should have lost. If CP3 does not get injured, the Warriors don't make the finals this year.
100%.
So I'm not worried. I don't buy the breaking the NBA. What I will say is this though, Matty. I would have really loved to have seen the Cavs and Warriors, the original Warriors, keep going at it for 2 more years. If the Warriors make it through the West, they might have. The Warriors were good enough to make it to the NBA Finals without Kevin Durant, obviously. They might not have been able to because there are other teams that were at their level, whether the new Rockets or Kevin Durant on the OKC Thunder. Man, that would have been so much fucking fun. That would have been so much fun. And instead, we get this bullshit team. But so that part I sympathize with, but I'm not. Look, the Warriors might continue winning championships. I don't know, but I have a feeling something. This is the time to transition to LeBron, where LeBron goes next. But I feel good about the Rockets' chances, even without LeBron, of taking them down next year.
Can I talk some more shit?
Keep going. Before we go, talk some more shit. Go ahead.
Before we go there, because I got to find the things I can do to talk shit out here.
Fair.
Which is hard. When you can get scoreboarded in the way that we can get scoreboarded right now.
It's also hard, Matty, when they're not out celebrating their championship on.
No, that's so remarkable.
Trash talk. That's
so cool. I told you this, Patty, but I left the house to go to the gym right after the game just to get the bad juju out of my system, and I have to walk by a bar that was just packed with Warriors fans. Mm-hmm. So I left my house. It's probably 8:45 out here. This is a Friday night, too. Absolutely packed with people. I go to the gym for about an hour. I'm on my way back. Bar's empty.
Jeez.
These people don't give a fuck. They don't get – now, Pat, we met some old school Warriors fans who are legit fans. They're great.
Yep.
I don't include them on this, but your average Warriors fan out here, fucking full of it. Absolute bullshit. So my strategies, Patty. One, I do a lot of talk about how Draymond Green is the Donald Trump of the NBA, which works great. Says and does things on the court that would be an instant problem for any other player in the league, and yet he gets away with it. Mm-hmm. And the corollary is that he's defended by a torpy white guy who just backs up anything he does, which is the Steve Kerr, Sean Spicer corollary, which just makes people real mad out here. It's very fun. It's very fun to do.
This is good stuff, Matty.
That's one. Two, the Warriors fans are the conservative snowflakes of the NBA fan base, where they're constantly whining about how they don't get calls. Mm-hmm. And they have bad luck and things don't go their way. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't hear that. That's ridiculous. You guys have all the advantages.
It's the rest of the world that says otherwise.
Right.
That was amazing, this series, by the way, following on Twitter. Everyone outside of Cavs fans, across NBA Twitter, were just being like, this is a very strange whistle across 3 straight games.
Yeah.
To be like giving Golden State this many different – it was very, very odd. It's like – because they were also just like, what is the point? Like
yeah.
You're going to be corrupt in making the series interesting. Why would you advantage the team that doesn't need one? It's crazy. That was bizarre.
And my final thing is that the Warriors are the Warriors and their fans are the 1%ers.
Yeah. It's like, as we said, like the poor conspiracy against the blue collar workers of Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
What fucking asshole!
It's infuriating. So it's a lot of that, and then just a lot of ad hominem stuff about the players.
That's excellent. That's very good.
I do what I can, Patty. I'm just going to be real mean.
You're out in the desert, Matty. You gotta fight your own battle.
That's right. I got to do what I have to do to survive.
That's right.
That's what I got to do.
You might have to debase yourself, but it's all.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
So if we're transitioning to LeBron talk, the one thing I want to say that sort of touches on all of this is you'll see a lot of stuff. I don't know. I follow somebody on Twitter that retweets Miami stuff, which is very annoying. Some journalist down there is doing a lot of shitting on Cleveland right now.
Of course, yeah.
You can imagine how that goes over with me. But there's a lot of talk like Cavs had LeBron, one of the greatest players in NBA history, for 11 years and got one championship out of it.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that talk. That's fucking stupid as shit.
Yes. I don't enjoy that. And part of that is that they ran into in the second – this Cavs team, if not for the Warriors, is remembered in that way.
Yeah.
Is one of the greatest – that team last year was one of the greatest offensive teams – the Cavs team last year was one of the greatest offensive teams in NBA history.
History. It was the best offensive team in history. It set these records. And some of the other – it was like the records they didn't set were set by the team we lost to in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, that was incredible. That was another Bucks one event. Two great historic offensive teams in the same year. Man. And that's the thing. People are going to be bummed about, like, Dynasty. Dynasty, man, where the fuck are you from? We're from Cleveland.
Yeah.
We got one. That's what we wanted. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You need a fucking Dynasty. Don't get greedy.
That's the other thing I can come back with these people. I'm not like one of you folks. I'm not one of these one percenters. One is enough for me. Other people can have some. I
have joy. Yeah, well, everyone else. I'm not greedy. I'm not going to hog all this stuff up. I got my one championship, and I can move on with my life when we don't win another championship. I felt a little uncomfortable when the Indians were on the verge of winning a World Series that year. I was like, well, this is too much. This is too much. I feel bad for doing that because it would have been great to have that 1 year where we got an embarrassment of riches. But that's the thing. It was embarrassing. I'm a Cleveland fan. I remember feeling a little weirdly embarrassed. Like, this isn't right. this isn't supposed to be. So we got that championship. We got those. We've got all those games on DVR to go back and watch whenever times get tough. And you can get to watch LeBron block the shit out of Steph Curry and tell him to get the fuck off me, man. Oh, that is restorative. That's a restorative.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I have to tell you. All right. So should we move on to with a LeBron?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
And this is actually, I got to say, Patty, all of this is way easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Losing this championship, saying goodbye to
we'll see.
I'll show my cards. I think we're saying goodbye to LeBron.
Yeah.
But it feels whatever happens the championship made me at peace with all of that.
That's all I wanted. I wanted one championship. If we got more, man, that's an embarrassment of riches. But we got the one. That's it. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
I remember when he came back, we when we saw what he had and what he was facing, we didn't know how good the Warriors were going to be because they didn't really add anybody to that team. They just got rid of Mark Jackson like that.
Mm-hmm.
All-time historic Mark Jackson. The only thing they changed about that team was they got rid of you. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to stand up and say respect to Mark Jackson for being able to continue to show up to work with a straight face, with respect for himself, knowing that he was the one thing holding back a historic team. Jesus, that's a heavy blow to an ego, and a lesser man might not be able to take it. So, kudos, Mark Jackson. Well done. Sorry. That just occurred to me for a second.
Oh, it's true.
When they first came back, we were like, boy, this team's really good. I remember thinking for a second, like, and they're around for a long time. This could be like a historic run. I was never thinking they're going to win 4 straight championships. I was just thinking they might go to the finals 4 straight years.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, you can't guarantee they're going to win every single year. The Spurs could have done something. We were scared of the Spurs back then. We weren't sure they were going to be able to beat the Spurs that year.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it took a lot of historic things happening to teams that were good at the time, like unusual things that cleared the way for the Warriors to waltz to the finals for a couple of years in a row, right? Like, that was crazy. Like, those teams all of a sudden dropped off from contention, like the Grizzlies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very unusual. You can't expect fucking 4 straight championships. That's ridiculous. I'm happy with my one. That's all I need.
Totally.
I would love to have more. I am never going to be as upset as I used to be before. As upset as I was in 2015, Matty, when we were talking after that loss, and it was like dark. It was really, really dark. I will never feel that bad again, ever. That's what winning a championship means.
Totally. And the other thing I'll say is I also feel like the ceiling on this season started to get chipped away when they didn't sign Griff.
Oh,
basically a year ago.
The minute that happened, I was very worried.
Right. and then from there, everything that cascaded from there.
Yeah, and that brings us back to Dan Gilbert. Look, we couldn't. The one thing Dan Gilbert did to allow us to get a championship was, one, swallow his pride to make the conditions right for LeBron to return, and two, yes to the money. That's all he did.
Yep.
I mean, he promoted. I'll give him that he promoted Griffin in the first place.
Yes, although now that just feels like part of his sick.
That's his MO. That's just like his thing.
Problem with GMs.
Just whatever. I'm the genius in charge here.
Right, and I don't think he's the one that brought Griffin to the organization, right?
No, he's not. I believe that was previous GM Chris Grant, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Dan Gilbert, you were necessary, but you did just what you had to do. You did what was expected of you. So I'm hereby revoking my lifetime pass, especially if LeBron leaves again, because it will be your fault twice.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know that the first one was his fault. I'm not willing to say that. I think the organization. I think LeBron sort of had to leave for all the reasons he's articulated.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the roster wasn't where it needed to be, arguably, and all sorts. I don't think that was Gilbert's fault. This one, Patty, I know you and I both felt like we liked the letter when it happened.
Yep.
It's something I didn't realize until recently is that was up on the Cavs site until LeBron signed back with us, like the day that
I found that out when he came back. 'Cause I saw that story that part of the reason everyone knew that he was coming back was for the first time somebody noticed that letter was taken down. That had been up all 4 years, and then when it went down, they're like, "It's happening. LeBron's coming back." Like that was the first time I let myself believe was when they took the letter down. I was like, "Oh, that means it's happening." That's crazy.
Yeah. But everything. I mean, somebody. Did you listen to the Howard Beck podcast with Jason Lloyd and Dave McMenamin and Joe Varden?
I did not, but I heard about
it. Oh, you should listen to it. It's worthwhile just for who we are, for sure. But somebody in that makes the point. There's three. They're talking about, is LeBron the GM of the team? They're like, well, that's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous line of analysis ever. And there were three specific things that happened that were 100% against LeBron's wishes this year. One was not re-signing Griffin.
Yep. One.
Two was not signing Jamal Crawford, which this isn't really about Jamal Crawford being good or bad, but if your choice was sign Jamal Crawford or sign Derrick Rose, who the hell cares? And if LeBron wants you to do it, just fucking do it.
Fucking do it. Yeah. And
then the third was the Boston Kyrie trade. And not so much trading Kyrie, but when LeBron found out about that trade, he was like, no, don't do that. They should have just not done it. Just listen to whatever LeBron has to say in that circumstance. You 100% consult your best player. And all of that feels like it bleeds from Gilbert and not wanting to get hung out to dry. And not there is no team post LeBron. Do whatever the hell you want.
Exactly. Stop worrying about it.
It is so hard to win a championship. In the last 30 years, 10 NBA teams have won championships, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of them. It is really hard to do it. You do whatever the hell you can to get there. LeBron is the thing we had to get us there. He wanted to play in Cleveland because he's from Cleveland. That's the advantage that we had. That's it. Do whatever the hell you have to do to keep him there. I don't care. Yeah. Whatever idiots want to criticize about re-signing Thompson or Smith, whatever, LeBron can drag anybody there, but you got to have LeBron there. So do whatever the fuck else you need to do to get him there.
Yep.
And Gilbert was on that page for a while and then suddenly started to get off that page last summer.
Yeah. No, and this is why I hereby revoke my lifetime pass to Dan Gilbert, because again, all he did to get LeBron here and to get the champs in the first place was the bare minimum of what he.
Yeah.
It's not very hard to say, okay, yes to the checks. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but it's easy for him to say when he has the fucking money to do it.
Yeah.
That's one. And he didn't do the bare minimum of what he needed to do to keep him here.
Yeah.
He is responsible for every reason that LeBron is leaving for.
Well, yes, organizational instability.
A Trump-style management philosophy, which it is. I mean, he runs that organization the way Trump is running the White House.
Yeah.
That's what you think of his politics. Again, I think this goes across all free-thinking conservatives as well. no one's really enamored with his management style in the White House. Leave aside,
Brendan likes it.
Well, Brent's crazy.
Not Brent, Brendan.
Oh, Brendan. Does Brendan?
Yeah, he does. He says he does.
I think he secretly knows that this is bad, embarrassing.
You think he's just trolling us?
Even if he gets, I think he's just not being honest. I think he knows deep down that this is bad. Policy-wise, he might be happy with the results, right? That's what I'm saying. He might be happy with the end results, but it's also kind of like this is just kind of a shit show, yeah. But anyway, that being said, that's what I'm saying. So here, you're at 0% right now for LeBron returning, right?
Zero chance. I'm
at 10% because I don't think there's any really good options out there for him to also to be in a better situation for competing for a title, one, and maintaining his max salary.
There is one.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I don't fully buy it, but you'll sell me on it. The fact I put about 10% returning to Cleveland, only because family is a big deal to him, and they do actually. Everyone's saying, "Oh, that they're going to go to Lakers because that's their home in LA." It's like no. Part of it is like Cleveland is where Savannah's from. That's where like the kids have been the last 4 years growing up. Like there is something to be said for that, and LeBron wanting to watch his kids play right in high school, and he'll miss it if he's not in Cleveland. He won't. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So that's one factor. The second thing that have to happen is we can't just take a player with the 8th pick. We have to trade the 8th pick, maybe even Love, to get something like C.J. McCollum or Kemba Walker. But is that enough?
No.
To override Dan Gilbert and that fucking disaster? That's what.
Patty, did you ever hear the rumor? I just saw this for the first time. I don't remember it happening 4 years ago, but that I guess Dan Patrick had this from somebody that when LeBron came back, he tried to get Gilbert, and I'm blanking on the name of the guy that owns the Pistons, the flop franchises.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And Gilbert's a Detroit guy, and it's like sort of made sense on that level. I was like,
I'll come back, but like, again, you get to have your hometown franchise. Win-win.
What if that was the thing that would be the most incredible thing? If LeBron came back, Gilbert got shipped out of town, and we got a new ownership in Cleveland, that would be.
Ooh, hey, Matty. Has the ship sailed on that scenario?
I don't think that. I feel like that's something that happened because that has happened before in the NBA. With Boston.
Really? I didn't realize.
Yeah, Boston, and I can't remember what the other organization was. Flipped owners, or the owners flipped organizations. That feels like the kind of thing that happened in a less sophisticated league with less money at stake. I just feel like that you can't do that anymore. It's too complicated.
That would be amazing. Ron was like, either I leave or I stay and you go. That would be so great. Oh, I'm going to dream about that until decision day comes. That's my preferred scenario. My preferred scenario is
that's clearly the best possibility.
Trades organizations to the Pistons, LeBron stays, and then we trade the 8th pick, maybe even Love for some combination of McCollum, Kemba, and something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can see happening. I'd love to have McCollum in Cleveland. That would be fucking great. But McCollum and Kemba are the only names I'm really seeing. Are you seeing anything else like what we can get for this 8th pick? And the 8th pick is not enough for either of those guys.
No, I just don't think we have the
guns. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What else is attractive on our roster? Corver, maybe to a contender that wants his particular skill set, but you're not getting a lot back for that.
Nope. Nance, maybe. Nance is still valuable.
Nance, yeah, but I mean,
isn't there like a limit to how quickly you can trade him?
For Nance?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the rules.
No, I think we're okay to. It's just there's not much.
George Hill and I think
George Hill's making $20 million next year.
No, but it's an expiring, Matty. It's an expiring, so it won't be good right now, but it's a valuable asset at some point. Some point during the next year, it will become valuable because it's expiring. Everyone's freaking out about 2 years. I'm like, dude, no, that actually becomes a good contract next year. Like, it's a lot of money to spend on a guy. But it becomes a very tradable asset because it means all that money's coming off the books next year. It's a way to like dump money. So he'll be actually a valuable contract. We have one more contract like that. I forget who it is. I think it's Tristan. that right?
That what?
I think Tristan's in the same kind of deal. Like he's got the same timeline with his money.
I think Tristan's got 2 years left.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, there's not a lot there, and if I was LeBron, I wouldn't stay. I would go.
It's just impossible for me to imagine this roster being good enough even to compete in the East next year. Really.
Yeah. I mean, if LeBron's here, we compete. Yeah,
we can compete, but like, do you think we get past
Kyrie and Gordon Hayward? Probably.
Yeah, and whatever else they do to upgrade that roster, which presumably they do something else. I mean, we don't win that series this year if Kyrie and Hayward are there.
That's true.
If they're taking the shots that the Marcus brothers were bricking.
Yep. I don't see McCollum and or Kemba being the difference maker there.
No.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Do you want to talk about Cavs post LeBron now, or after we go through the other teams?
Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Okay.
It's just so bleak.
It's a fucking barren wasteland. Like, because we don't even have like first round picks every year. We've got
It's not quite that right. It's not quite that bad.
Oh yeah. Okay. But like,
I'll pull it up while we're talking. I mean, we have them this year. Certainly. Right. We have one this year. We traded ours actually.
We have the
one we have.
We'd have to dump Love for a first rounder, but wouldn't be a very good first rounder probably. Love is still an asset, but he's not as big of an asset because of the way the game has changed. Which is another unlucky thing with the timing of LeBron's return. He was the perfect player at the time for that, but now it's become even more radicalized that he's now less playable. But no, I think a smart team can really make a huge weapon out of him, and might pay premium for it. You're right. There's not much else that we have.
I think you just start dealing off pieces, right? You trade Korver if you can to a contender that wants his skill set.
Trade TT. Will
trade TT is not so easy, Patty.
I think actually you're wrong. I think people will want that, but it'd probably be more for the cap space finagling. Wouldn't it be next year?
It's not cap space, but it's 2 years. He's got 2 years left on his deal.
No, I know, but I'm saying, Matty, like, wouldn't be. This
eventually. Yeah,
next year he'd be a valuable chip because he would be he's in his prime still. He looked like he got much healthier in the playoffs this year than he's been for like the last 2 years.
That's true. He looked better. His free throw shooting was way better.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, any contending team could use that guy deep on their bench as a player, right? Especially if it's going to expire next year and you dump him, right? So I could see that being a useful asset to a team that's desperate. So the Cavs could have a decent 4-year build. But it will be 4 years of it will be 2011 to 2014 again, for sure. It would be the same kind of barren wasteland of basketball, which would be I don't know. It was fun. I kind of enjoyed those terrible Cavs. It was fun to watch that.
There is a. I said this to you the other day. I was like, there's something. It's obviously better to be a good team and to have LeBron, but there will be something about watching a team with actually no pressure or expectations that'll just make the whole season a little easier for me.
Yeah, it'd be nice to not have to stress about the game too much. Focus on the Indians.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cavs. I think we all agree are a barren wasteland when LeBron leaves, which is why you don't worry about the future.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, right?
You just do whatever you can, sell out to keep him there, you dumbass. Fucking Cavs, Dan. God damn it. All right, so let's go through where LeBron could go, and we can talk about where we think he should go and where we want him to go, or where he will likely go. So let's start first with the Rockets. They were the closest team already to knocking off the Warriors, and adding LeBron, I feel like they would definitely knock them off.
Well, if they just added him if you just swapped him into that and not worrying about salaries or anything.
Yep. But that's the problem. That's not,
of course,
LeBron's not going to take a discount.
I don't think if one of the assumptions we have is that LeBron needs to make max money, and I think that's a safe assumption.
It is.
I think that's for his own, his sense of self-worth, his position within the union. All of that, I think he's got to get paid max money.
Yeah, and the problem is that Chris Paul also does. Chris Paul is
right.
As LeBron,
and also Chris Paul is he's getting to the end.
He's in his last year or two of
being good and can barely stay healthy as it is anyway, right? Like
that's
it,
yeah. But
I wouldn't be totally confident, and I'm pretty sure they don't have cap space, or they'd have to totally gut the roster in order to develop the cap space to just sign him as a free agent. They could trade for him, certainly.
Sign and trade, I think, is the only thing they can really do.
But I actually think that's the most likely thing that happens with LeBron is that he opts into the contract.
Yes.
And then forces a trade.
Agreed. It gives him more flexibility. It gives him more destinations to go to, and the Cavs will like it because they'll get more assets for it, obviously.
Right.
They'll help facilitate it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what assets you're going to get from the Rockets that make the money work, that Cavs Dan's not, that Dan Gilbert's not a total dick about taking back. That doesn't gut then the depth and point of the roster. Like it's gonna,
Well, I think a lot of this is LeBron is going to say, "I'm opting in, and you're going to trade me here."
Yeah, exactly.
And this is just what's going to. If you want any value out of me, this is what's going to happen. So I think he dictates that more, and we're going to get back whatever the fuck we're going to get back.
I hope so. I just don't know what the number of how you add up the money to make the space for LeBron and Chris Paul. Without like losing Capella or Ariza or somebody who's kind of crucial to that.
Oh, they got to sign Capella too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like.
Well, they've got some bad money on that roster though.
So they could dump that.
Ryan Anderson's, I think, making $20 million next year.
That's true. Ryan Anderson would come back to us, which would suck.
They've got some filler. I mean, we'd have to get draft picks and whatever else, and not that their draft picks are going to be any good.
No. Wow. So.
I think that's how it would have to happen there. That's possible.
I guess so. I guess it's possible. I wonder if, the Cavs working a third partner to get us one better asset out of it beyond like really shitty contracts and bad draft picks. But
again, I don't think we're calling any of the shots in this scenario. I think we're taking whatever we can get back from whatever team he says he wants to go to.
You would think so, but don't underestimate how petty Dan Gilbert is.
That's true, but I think he's over the barrel here.
I hope you're right, because the Rockets would be, I think, the best fit in terms of win now.
I don't know. I don't know. He feels like a weird fit alongside. I mean, if the concern with Harden and Paul was that they both needed the ball in their hands, how the fuck does LeBron fit into that?
I think LeBron would like to not have the ball in his hands as much as he did. I think he can do a lot of damage off ball.
He'd be filthy playing off. He's never demonstrated in his career that that's what he's interested in doing.
Yeah, I thought he was able to do it a little bit with Miami. And I think he'll find a way to work
a little
with CP3. If CP3 is able to work, I don't know. It's one of those like that's a nice problem to have three guys that can dominate the ball.
Sure.
As gifted passers, all three of them gifted passers on top of being great ball handlers. I don't know. That's an amazing setup to have. I'd be really curious to see that situation work out. Even though I kind of hate James Harden and don't enjoy the Rockets as a franchise. Well, they're a well-run franchise. I just don't like my cousins from Houston, so I generally hate Houston teams. All right, so next up, Sixers. They don't quite have the cap space to sign them outright. They would still need to be.
They'd have to create cap space, which would gut a lot of the things that are good with the team.
Exactly.
I think they have concerns about like, are we good enough as is, and like we're building to something, and do we want to bring in an old LeBron to fuck with it?
Right, exactly. But to me, that's part of what the process is about: is getting the assets in place to be able to land the greatest player in NBA history while he's still have time left.
Now, the trade package we could get back from them would be interesting. That's probably the best trade package, right? Because you could get some mixture of Fultz, Saric,
draft picks,
a pick, and then cap filler.
I don't think we would get Fultz and Saric. We get one of those guys, right?
I don't know.
Probably Fultz, because
we might get both.
Really?
Yeah, possible.
Then I can see Philly not wanting to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's gutting what makes them such an interesting team from a long-term perspective. Same time, like you guys,
it's a win now move for sure. Listen, anytime you're going for LeBron, it's a win now move.
Absolutely. And on top of that, Philly, remember you just lost to the Celtics without Kyrie and Hayward with the game back next year. So you guys no chance next year. That is
right. They got to improve now. They have cap space to improve and a whole bunch of shit, but Yeah.
Yeah. Your core is there. Your core is not changing unless you add LeBron. So I would do it. The other concern is, same concern you had about ball dominant stuff. Like
with Simmons
is good with LeBron when they're kind of like their skill sets are kind of identical with the exception that LeBron can hit outside shots and Simmons can't. My attitude is, man, you got two guys like that at that size and the passing ability and the finishing ability at the rim. You think that's a problem?
Yeah.
That is just a fucking brutal weapon to be able to throw out at people. To have both those guys, you can't load against either one of them. The other guy's gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
So I actually look forward to that and seeing LeBron kind of mentor him. But it's the weirdest fit because he doesn't know those guys, doesn't have any relationship with them. It'd be like Cavs. It'd be his Cavs journey all over again. And I have a feeling that LeBron doesn't want that. I think LeBron wants to play with. I think honestly, watching what Chris Paul does in the offseason, because he may not go to the Rockets, he might go somewhere else. Watching what happens with Chris Paul and LeBron, I think is really interesting because Chris Paul, I think LeBron wants to play with Chris Paul while he still has prime left or whatever's left of his elite level of production.
Sort of feels like it, doesn't it?
It does feel like that. Which brings me to the Lakers because to me that's where Chris Paul might go if he doesn't sign.
Oh, you think so? I haven't heard that at all. That's interesting.
I haven't heard that because they had the most cap space for creative shit. And they have some other interesting young pieces to build around. LeBron went with Chris Paul over there. I could see that. I don't know if they couldn't add Paul George on top of that, but maybe in a sign and trade they could work something out. So I could see that happening. Especially
that would mean they're giving up on Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, exactly. And look, if you're the Lakers, of course you give up on that.
Yeah, I would, but
I mean, because I think Lonzo Ball's garbage. But so that to me, I think is a legitimate possibility here. Because that's the only place that I think Chris Paul could really go where LeBron could also go, right?
It doesn't feel like that makes them a contender, though. I don't think Chris Paul, LeBron, and what? Ingram, Kuzma?
Yeah, I think it makes them...
Dirk Lopez, that doesn't feel like a contender to me.
I sort of...
If you think they're going to have to give up some of their young pieces in order to get there,
I don't know. I don't see Brook Lopez as being part of that. Actually.
I think is he a free agent too? I can't remember.
What's that?
He might be a free agent. They're going to have to give up some of their stuff in order to pull that off, and I think that worsens them in a way that I don't know.
I think
whatever they do, I don't think they could compete with the Warriors / Rockets.
Well, I don't know. I sort of feel like when you have those key places, those key pillars in the first place, and then the rest of the Lakers roster seems much more dynamic as far as role playing is concerned. Those guys as stars, I'm not buying for a second on the Lakers squad. Those guys as like really interesting complementary pieces that are growing alongside those guys, that becomes interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think LeBron wants to deal with that shit.
All right, Matty, are we going to talk about our nightmare?
Before we talk about the nightmare, have you seen the shit that's like the Warriors are making plans to pair LeBron with Durant and Curry?
Yeah, what the fuck? I was reading in Mark Spears' New York Times piece that one of the franchises that LeBron's going to talk to is the Warriors. I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? There's no way he wants to play for that franchise.
I wouldn't think so, and I think it would have to happen. So here's a couple of the nightmare scenario, Pat. In that case, is for that to happen, it would have to be a sign and trade, obviously, and I think it might mean getting Draymond Green in Cleveland.
I might be into that just to see Draymond be marooned on the car.
just shit on him.
Yeah, you guys play in Cleveland half the fucking year.
So the other that's funny. The other upside to me, it was just be him coming out here and then me shitting all over Warriors fans who've been talking shit about LeBron for the last 4 years.
Oh my god,
that would be a slight upside for me. I think you and I had the take of we'll root for him wherever he goes. It'd be tough to do in Golden State and tough to do in the other team that we're going to talk about. But that started to make me feel like, I just start rocking LeBron so hard and shitting all over the Warriors and their franchise.
Great troll mode. What? But seriously, is this a real serious thing that he would even like entertain?
I don't know. I hope not. I mean, that would look so bad for him. I feel like. I don't think he would.
Yeah, no, I don't think he actually has any. I think he wants to actually slay giants, and part of why he did the Miami Heat move was not to join the giant. It was because he wanted to slay the Celtics. He wanted to slay the Celtics giant that he didn't feel like he had the tools to beat in Cleveland. That's the difference between what LeBron does and what Kevin Durant does, who says, this is too hard, and I want to just join the team that's already won everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, that goes down in history. Like, at the end of the day, what comes about hello. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Sorry, my in-laws just stopped by. And Becca is upstairs with Saul. He might be napping. If you tap on the door lightly, you can touch base with her. Sorry about that. What was I going to say? So what I was going to say was I think at the end of the day, the one thing that's really most remarkable about the Warriors' victory and their championship wins is just how unremarkable they are, how boring and how no one cares. There's nothing really compelling about what they're doing. And I think that it will go down. Like, just Durant's going to be doing amazing things, and it's going to be taken for granted because he took the easiest path and destroyed the best challenger to the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a really weirdly unheroic move in a way that, like, we used to say something about LeBron when he went to Miami, but like you could really, recast that narrative by saying, no, he went to form a new team to be able to take down this other juggernaut that he couldn't take down.
Yeah.
That's a very different narrative. Anyway, so getting back to the Celtics, is who we're hinting at.
Oh, Jesus, man.
This feels really possible.
I had totally dismissed it, and when you start laying it out, you're like, oh, God.
If we're thinking, leave aside how much LeBron hates the Celtics, because he did once say, like, if you put my mother in a Celtics jersey, I would, like, run her over. Or something.
Yeah.
Like, he hates the Celtics as a franchise, but he respects the organization. He respects Brad Stevens. Like, they got a lot of great pieces. They could give us a decent return and still have probably the most stacked team for LeBron to take on the Warriors with. You add LeBron to that team is going to be...
Well, that's what's amazing is the trade would have to be for Hayward, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Because Hayward's making 30-something million. You could almost do it straight up, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And we have to get anything else.
We'd probably get some draft assets back, I would hope. And then it's LeBron, Kyrie, Brown, Tatum. I mean, Jesus, Brown, Tatum, Horford. What the fuck is that team?
That's a murderer's row. No one short of...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Switch everything. Kyrie's the only weak link, but he's gotten better on defense. But still, like, oh, man, a lot of help defense there. Jeez. That's devastating.
Oh, I mean, when you think about it like that, I was like, because I like I said, I had totally had it dismissed in my head, and then I read that article, and I was like, oh, fuck. That's, oh, my God.
Then you got Rozier, Smart. Hopefully they get rid of Morris. I think LeBron would require that. I hope he would. I would be really mad if LeBron Celtics they didn't get rid of Morris.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of redundant at that point, too. I mean, could we get Rozier back, maybe? That'd sort of be nice.
Yep. The holy shit.
It's a little redundant from there. But it's like, I think it gives us the best return, even if we then want to go trade Hayward later to further the rebuild, because it's not like we're going to be
Hayward and Love, yeah.
But whatever. It gives us the best return. It makes them fucking filthy.
Yep.
It shits on Kyrie a little in a way that makes me happy.
Oh, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as you were saying about the Warriors. Yeah. Watching Bill Simmons and Celtics fans turn around and act like they've loved LeBron all along. It's fun to watch. Actually, to be honest, Matty, we say it'll be fun. It'll be incredibly aggravating.
Oh yeah, I'm just. Those are my two. Remember, Patty, we said there were two. He can go anywhere and we'll be absolutely fine. I mean, I think you and I are both in a position we're gonna rep LeBron hard forever.
For sure.
Now.
For sure.
And even if he went to one of those cities, I would rep him hard.
Yep.
It would sting me. Going in, we were like, that would just fucking. That would be the worst if it was one of those two, and that is still the case. It would suck.
Agreed. That would suck. It would definitely suck. I'm not even entertaining Golden State Warriors. He's not going to the Golden State Warriors. He's not going to play for the Golden State Warriors. Take it to the bank. Like that's a 0% chance. That's a negative 100% chance. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. Celtics might though, and I can still live with that. I'll become a. I'll be a LeBron fan. I'll be cheering for LeBron in the Celtics jersey, and I'll be with everybody else in that team.
Oh God, him in green.
Oh man.
What's more instantly nauseating to you, him in green or him in Golden State yellow?
I think him in green.
Him in green too, because I've seen him in Cavs yellow, so it's a little.
Yeah, exactly. He's had those colors already. It's just how nauseating it was to see Kyrie in that green. Oh, yeah, absolutely. One wild card to throw in here. I've been seeing some chatter on Twitter today from a couple of different sources that LeBron's going to sit down with Pop and the Spurs.
Yep, I've seen that too.
I mean, who knows what Kawhi's health is like, but LeBron and Kawhi and Pop and the rest of that young core-ish thing, I don't hate that. It doesn't seem like on paper to be the best team that you can go to, but man.
Yeah, and I don't know what they –
LeBron, Kawhi, and Pop, I kind of love the shit out of that, and I also like the Spurs. Like, the Spurs I can definitely get behind.
Oh, yes. I'd be repping the Spurs so hard next year if that happened.
Here's the interesting thing, Matty. If LeBron goes to the Rockets, Sixers, or Spurs for any reason, I'm buying a LeBron jersey from that team. Probably. Definitely not buying a Celtics jersey of any sort, even with LeBron's name on it.
No chance.
No chance of buying that.
Sixers I could do for sure. Rockets feels weirder to me for some reason.
But I could do it. I would never buy a Lakers jersey, a Celtics jersey, or a Warriors jersey. Like that's
yes, unacceptable. I agree. But Spurs, in a heartbeat. I always sort of like the Spurs.
Yeah, love that organization. All right.
Any other way? I mean, you hear all like somebody. I think Richard. Somebody I saw on Twitter was like, no, I think Portland because of the Nike connection. What the fuck is going on? Somebody on Cavs Twitter said that the other day. It was like, let's just get this over with so I can stop hearing people throw out these terrible takes about where he might end up.
I'm actually excited about this. I'm in a good place. I'm excited to see what the Cavs do with the draft. We haven't talked about the draft at all, but just briefly, I like that kid out of I think it's Duke, right? Who I think will be available in that spot. He's gotten like overshadowed by Marvin Bagley, but he's really good.
Which one are you talking about?
I remember his name, Wendell, I want to say his name is, which is a terrible name you want for a basketball player. But let me look up who this guy is. Draft team. Let's see the list here. God damn it, give me a list of the players. It's so funny. These like clickbaity slideshow things. I'll cut this out of the final version. Wendell Carter.
Wendell Carter.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's 6'10". He's not like the most athletic, but he's very fast and quick and can guard most positions like TT. Right? He's a TT that can shoot. That's the thing. Like he's a monster on the boards. He actually has some polished game under the basket. But more importantly, he can shoot the lights out. He's shot over 40% from three, and good passer. He can play strong defense like TT. Monster on the offensive boards. I like that. I like the shit out of that.
It seems like we're going to get somebody real.
Yeah. I'm looking at the draft. Like somebody else's mock draft has Michael Porter falling to us.
Right, which would be all. That would be fantastic.
So I like whoever we're going to get out of this, but it'll be key to see because I'm worried about us like drafting somebody that I'm worried about.
That Gilbert likes.
Yeah, that Gilbert likes, or two because we're worried about lining up a trade that's not going to do anything because LeBron's going to leave anyways, right? Like, you know,
that's the worst thing to me is that we get into a weird game where we're trying to keep a foot in both worlds and just end up fucking it all up.
Yeah. It's frustrating. So I hope we just
like trade the pick in Love for something, and then LeBron leaves anyway, and then
that
suck. That feels possible.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely is possible. But I like that because that's a guy that you can definitely build around year after year. Anyway, do you have a prediction? What's your prediction versus your preference for what LeBron does?
Oh, jeez. I mean, he's gone. He's gone 100%. I guess I honestly don't know that I can make a prediction.
Really?
I have no clue. I have no clue where he's going to go. I think there's so many options around the table. And I don't know what he's interested in. I don't know what the other moving piece. Like he can orchestrate a lot of shit. So I think there's stuff that can happen that we haven't thought about yet. And players that could move that we haven't thought about yet. Though I feel this is going to be the craziest offseason in the NBA in a long time.
Which is saying something.
It is saying something because last year was so crazy, sort of out of nowhere, right? That wasn't free agents going last year. It was all the big movement. Was the Paul George trade, the Chris Paul trade, the Irving trade, all that stuff was not even free agency.
The year before that was crazy with Kevin Durant making the most cowardly decision.
Yeah.
The year before that was crazy. The year before that was crazy with Love. Oh my God, it's nuts.
But this one feels like it could be even more bonkers because LeBron's such a seismic shift.
It's the offseason to end all off seasons, man.
It is. So I honestly have no prediction. I don't know. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I guess my preference would probably be Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. What about you?
Well, yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with you. My preference is Philly, just because I'd be so hyped to rep LeBron on the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
I like Philly. Like Philly's one of those like suffering sports talentish kind of places. You know?
Oh yeah, there's a kindred Cleveland spirit there for sure.
I've always been a big fan of most Philly teams. I was happy to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl and all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, there's no Eagles or Phillies rivalry. The Sixers and the Cavs have never really had a thing. It's
sort of how like I was in the '90s with Boston teams. I used to like Boston teams because they had some, aside from the Celtics, had so much sports suffering. You know, I felt that kindred spirit, and then they became the most insufferable fan base in all the world. So my preference would be for the Sixers or the Spurs. I'm just gonna say the Spurs. I think seeing LeBron and Popovich is just awesome. That would be really fun to watch, and Kawhi. That just sounds like awesomeness. My prediction, though, is that here's what I'll 100%. I think LeBron, wherever he goes, will be playing with CP3. I think it's either the Rockets or that weird
the Lakers.
Some other thing I can't predict right now.
Yeah.
1 second, buddy.
It's going to be wild, whatever happens. That's how I feel. Like I think the whole league's going to be reshaped this offseason.
But I also guarantee this, Matty. I think LeBron returns to Cleveland in 4 years to finish out his career.
To play with LeBron Jr.?
Yeah.
That would make me so happy.
How that'd be so amazing.
Oh my God.
No, but I
especially if he came back as if he rips the franchise away from Gilbert somehow.
No, but I do think LeBron, no matter what happens in his career, he's going to play his last and final season in Cleveland. I think that's a guarantee. Yeah. I think he wants to end his final season in Cleveland, and then immediately have his jersey retired, like at the end of the year.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. Like
just come back and set some final records.
Yep, exactly.
Pass Abdul-Jabbar, do whatever the fuck else he wants. Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, Patty, this is like for what happened and what's going to happen. This is such a hopeful podcast, and I'd just like to say that feels good.
It does feel good, right? And that was
doesn't it? We're in a good space, man. We won. We got it. We had the greatest player of all time. We've been repping like that for a long time.
He earned it.
It feels good. I'm happy for him to cement that wherever he goes. He's number one in my heart forever.
Absolutely.
It's great.
I'm going to be a huge LeBron fan. I'm going to be an insufferable LeBron supporter no matter where he goes the rest of his career and beyond. And I can still
amen. I'll be rooting for him whatever he ends up doing afterwards.
I can still hold out hope that he eventually buys the Cavs.
Yes. Petty, he also this year had my favorite tweet of the year, which was the "you bum" tweet to Trump.
That's MVP level shit.
Yeah.
You bum.
He already said he wasn't coming, therefore there isn't an invite. It used to be an honor before you showed up. The best.
Man, just crushing him. He's the best. He's the best. That's the amazing thing. There's like a greater than 50% chance that he does own the Cavs. Because he wants to. He'd love to be able to just like live in Cleveland full year round, right, with the rest of his family. I mean, because he can travel the world wherever he wants to be, and help be a part of building up his hometown in Akron. Like better way than running that franchise. There's gonna be. He'll find a way to do it. He'll have the money. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you have to do some extra stuff, but
that'll be awesome. I'm so excited to watch him. I really appreciate him as a person.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to watch whatever he does. I'm excited to root for him for the next few years and see him do some great shit.
Amen.
We were lucky to have him in our lives, Patty.
Yeah, amen.
We're lucky to have him on our team. We're lucky to have that championship, and I'll rep him whatever may come.
11 years of having the greatest to ever do it on your team. Repping.
Yep. What more could we ask for, Patty? Nothing.
Got a championship.
Yep.
Well, champion, I think that does it for the Cleveland Sports Hour. If you would agree.
I think so. We did it all. We said it all.
We said it all. Remember, everyone, public service announcement, June 19th is right around the corner. So have some champagne ready. Get Game 7 up.
Second anniversary.
And enjoy. Savor it. Savor the sweetness. All right, until next time, this is Matty and Patty saying...